Today, I will tell you a story that happened to me in the first year of university. I still get goosebumps when I remember this incident. During winter break, my roommate decided to bunk our beds. I was home, and she stayed on campus, so she and her cousin had done it. I was excited about it since we've talked about it before. When I came back to school, I had the bottom bunk, which I was grateful for. Every time my roommate laid on the top bunk, the bottom of her mattress would sag from her weight. I would often put my feet under her mattress and push up, making her jump. We thought it was funny. She worked for Amazon and had the graveyard shift. On the weekends and a couple of weekdays, she would leave around 6 p.m. and come back at 5 a.m. One particular Friday night, I had returned to my dorm at about 10 p.m. after hanging out with some friends. I knew it would be empty since my roommate was long gone for work. I remember this really uneasy feeling I got from the room. I stood in the doorway staring at everything. It looked fine. There was nothing weird about it, but something just felt off. I even thought about sleeping in a friend's room, but I was too exhausted and just brushed it off as post-hanging out sadness. I changed, threw on my headphones, and before I knew I had drifted off. I don't know what time it was when I woke up. I remember being cold despite always being hot. I remember looking at my room. Everything was lit up a deep red because of my roommate's LED lights she had put up. I was confused that they were on until a quiet moan threw me off. It sounded very raspy. It was so quiet I couldn't figure out if the noise was in my head or if it had really happened. That same uneasy feeling started creeping up my spine. My head whipped around and I was staring at the sagging mattress above me. I breathed a sigh of relief, knowing my roommate was there. I put my feet under her mattress and gently pushed, and it felt heavier than usual, like a lot heavier. At this point I was thinking she snuck someone in while I slept. I heard the raspy moan again and knew this. It was definitely coming from above me. The sound of it really struck dead in me. It almost sounded like an old man sleeping with his mouth open. That's the best I could describe it. When I noticed it was still pitch black outside, I wondered what time it was. When my roommate got back, the sun was usually peeking through. I reached for my phone to check the time. And when I did, my heart sunk. It was only midnight, and my roommate never got off early, let alone 5 hours early. At this point, I was very uncomfortable, and I knew that I wouldn't sleep until I saw for myself who the hell was there. Even if she did sneak someone in, I would be kind of upset, so I wanted to check. I was creeping out of my bed to check. The second my foot hit the floor, the mattress above me moved. The sound of it moving wasn't any type of shuffling. It sounded like all of weight on it had been lifted. It scared me, so I quickly ran and turned around. I started crying. There was no one else in the room. I just remember feeling really defeated and empty. The whole thing felt like it lasted hours, but it was really only a matter of minutes. There was no one else awake at this hour, so I called my friends from back home since I was a few hours ahead of them. I cried telling them the story. I had all the lights on and was sitting on my desk telling them. They knew about the stairwell story and marked it up to me, still being scared of that. So my brain made it up. I hung up feeling flustered and exhausted, but I didn't want to sleep. I watched TV until my roommate got back and I told her what happened. My roommate laughed it off until she climbed up to her bunk, which is when she paused. She asked if I'd laid on it or something, and I said no. When I asked why, she said her bed was messy and before she left for work, her bed was made. I couldn't sleep with the lights off after that. The sound of the raspy moan and the sound of the mattress really stuck with me. When I go back next year, I won't be having a roommate. It will be good since my current roommate and I left off on bad terms.